What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on YouTube.com and, of course, NoDQ.com. I'm going to cause some controversy today, I'm sure. I'm going to offend some people. I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off. But you know what? These are my opinions, and if you don't like it, then you can fast forward to the end, and I got a view out of it, so I really don't give a shit. This is from Puerto Rico. This is from Victor Herod123. Sorry about that. Hey, Jeff, what do you think about this latest Scott Hall incidents? For me, it's damn sad. You know, I watched everything that Aaron posted, that was posted on ODQ.com, or whoever posted it. I'm sure it was Aaron, or, you know. And for me, I don't understand why Scott would purposely stay away from WrestleMania weekend and the Hall of Fame, and, you know, to avoid the party scene that would inevitably come with Shawn Michaels getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Because, yes, Shawn's a born-again Christian. Yes, they've all cleaned their acts up. But you know what? At the end of the day, they all like to party. And Scott made the right choice and stayed away. And then he shows up to work like that. It was one thing to show up to the Hall of Fame like that, because I guarantee Shawn was blazed. I guarantee Shawn had smoked before he did the interview at WWE.com. Look in his eyes, listen to his speech, okay? If he wasn't, I apologize, but this is Sean Waltman, and we all know Sean Waltman pretty well in this little group, okay? Anyway, Scott stayed away to avoid things like that. And then he shows up to work like that. First of all, you don't book a guy that's trying to clean himself up and make him feel obligated to show up. So that's bad on the promoter's part. Second of all, you don't book him as a human being. What is wrong with this promoter in Massachusetts thinking he can book somebody that's trying to clean up their act and put him in an indie show? Indie show is a cesspool of drugs and alcohol and all kinds of crap. I worked for him. I know. It's ridiculous. It's irresponsible. Excuse me, fighting a cold, I apologize. It's completely ridiculous that they would allow that to happen. And I'm ashamed of the promoter. Scott too, but, you know, whatever. This is from Jacob White. What are your thoughts on WWE rebranding and no longer using the turnaround? Okay. Talked about this briefly last week when I opened the show as Talk Entertainment and not Talk Wrestling. I get that WWE wants to branch out. I get that WWE wants to do the movies and their own network and everything else. But at the end of the day, they make their money by putting two guys in Speedos in a 20x20 ring and having them fight. That's where WWE has made their money since before they were even known as the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, when they were still Capital Wrestling in the 50s, when Vince Sr. ran the territory. It has been a wrestling company. They made their money on wrestling. And if they're going to think about branching out and thinking that the movies are going to bring in enough revenue to warrant a name change, Chaperone was in theaters for a week. It's done decent DVD rentals and buys, but not a lot. Okay? Yes, John Cena is a marketable name. Yes, John Cena's movies have done decently in DVD rentals and purchases, okay? But you can't base the success of a division of your company on one guy. Because Knucklehead was funny, but not a lot of people saw it. Cena Weevil was gross and sick, and not a lot of people saw it. The Marine was good. I liked the Marine. I liked Legendary. I liked what I've seen of Chaperone so far. I haven't seen all of it yet because my Netflix instant play is fail. But you can't deviate from what has brought you the paydays. WrestleMania brings you guys the paydays. Raw brings you guys the ratings. House shows bring you the revenue from merchandise sales and things like that. WWE Shop is your thriving business. I know, we've dropped a lot of money for those guys recently. Don't move away from what has brought you to the dance. That's all I'm saying. This is from Backyard War in Spencer, Indiana. What do you think about the return of Tough Enough? Are you asking about Tough Enough because one of your Indiana girls is on Tough Enough, Michelle Dighton? I think you are. I think you're sweet on Michelle. Stay away from her. She's Johnny Favorite Place. I am happy with Tough Enough being back. Michelle's on the show, a former XMV guest and co-host. We love Michelle on the show, and I am pulling for her as well as my former Epic War compadre, I guess is the for lack of a better term, Eric Watts. Both of whom were in the bottom 3 on the first episode, and Steve laid into him, especially Eric, and I was impressed that Eric fought back. I was impressed with Eric that he balled up and gave it back to Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was really cool. So, congrats, guys. Plus, any chance to see Stone Cold and Trish Stratus on a weekly basis, that's good by me, because I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I miss Trish to death. Having met Trish when we did, and, getting to meet her and talk with her online and, become pseudo-friends, I guess, for lack of a better word, has been really cool. So seeing her back in the spotlight is awesome. And plus, Booker T's a great trainer. He's got his own school in Houston. And you've got the madman known as Bill DeMott, who is always fun to watch. He's the new Taz of the group because he's crazy. I'm enjoying Tough Enough. And I hope that Eric or Michelle wins. And if I'm dating myself by mentioning those names, then oops. This is from D. Hardenbrook 13. Hey Jeff, with Sin Cara finally debuting, is there any chance WWE will reconsider a cruiserweight division? Alright. With all the clusterfuckiness they've got going on right now, and the fact that they can't push the titles they do have properly, and the fact that the cruiserweight division was never looked at as anything more than a little abnormality, I guess, for lack of a better term, why would we think that it would be a success now? The cruiserweights were a hot thing in WCW in 1996 through roughly 99-2000. But in 2011, with Rey Mysterio being in the heavyweight division, even though he's 175 pounds soaking wet with a brick in his pocket, with Sin Cara being a high flyer but being a more of a built high flyer than a cruiserweight, and with the other cruiserweights being relegated to agent jobs or whatever, and Chavo Guerrero being the true cruiserweight that doesn't get pushed, I see no reason to bring back a failure of a division, especially when they thought little of it enough to make Hornswoggle the champion. Okay? That's the Cruiserweight division's legacy in WWE, and that's why it should never come back. Alright? Okay. That's all for Talk Wrestling. Thank you all for sending in the questions. I really appreciate it. And again, 19,000 subscribers by May 1st, Extreme Rules, and we'll see you next time.